on this massacre of school children in Pakistan.
You think we are a nation who is only known for terrorism, but you're not aware that we own it when it comes to optimism. You can keep on thinking of the odds and stay in fright, or you can trust the facts you're about to witness by sight. We're not the troublemakers that the world think we are. We have achieved a lot that is enough to remove this scar. Let's start believing that our economy holds great potential and step forward to explore the prospects, cause that's essential. We're not just a remarkable marks present only in the past. Instead, we still hold potential to show the world we're blessed. We were an economy who was followed by others. We got shattered a bit, but stood again to aim for treasures. We made mistakes, faced the consequences, and suffered. This taught us a lot and enabled us to keep ourselves covered. We moved hills, gained titles, and made many other records. Our nation survived the turmoil and made its way through hazards. How can you doubt a nation who doesn't give up at any cost? Pakistan always come back on track when the world think it's lost. We're tough, skilled, talented, and unstoppable. You can check the stats to see how much we're capable. No matter you are national, regional, or international investor, our country has so much to offer. You just name the sector. We're coming forward with the conference of the year. Will you amiably join hands with us and provide your share?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम अमर भाई, कैसे हैं
आप? खैरियत से?
अमर भाई, सिर्फ 2 वर्ड्स जंप स्टार्ट टीम के लिए और इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए।
भाई जंप स्टार्ट की हम टीम को खुद इससे हमने क्या बात करनी है? जंप स्टार्ट इज a group of wonderful people and the day one jump start started in Pakistan, we are with you with everybody now because actually हमारा why मिल गया। Why? That's why we are together and thank you very much for all your cooperation, understanding, and we are working together. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Amar Jafri. I am currently heading the e-Pakistan initiative, and this is a wonderful initiative. And I think we exist in 60 districts of Pakistan, covering SDGs, covering emerging technologies, covering cybersecurity, and rural incubation centers. So many things. So today the topic is opportunities in Pakistan in tourism with reference to virtual tourism, because you know the COVID-19 has reset the world. Now we have to rethink. I think when we have the next normal, we'll have to prepare for the next normal today, because if we start thinking on it, once it is over, it will be too late then. So while we are all in a lockdown situation, sitting at homes, is the best opportunity that we plan for tomorrow. So with reference to current topic, which is tourism, I think there are no two opinions about the fact that Pakistan is the most attracted, among the most attractive countries in terms of tourism. We have cultural tourism, we have religious tourism, we have so diversified terrorism in Pakistan. Everybody wants to come to Pakistan from different perspectives. And I think the trend was going along at a very high pace. The future predictions were very high, and the government of Pakistan was very serious to promote it from different perspectives. But suddenly, this COVID-19 came, so there has been a halt. And I am very positive this is going to improve, and we'll have the next normal again. But while we are in this situation, especially this year, and maybe some part of the next year, we have to think about it. Virtual tourism, it was there before also, because this term is not nothing new in the world. It was there. The technologies were there. Because, you know, in normal circumstances, there are few people who cannot travel. They're old people. There are few people who are not fortunate enough like us. They are persons with special disabilities, PWDs. So they were always there. There are always some people who cannot get visa for coming to different countries. So they have their interest in virtual tourism. What is virtual tourism? You have the same attraction for the tourism. You are there, but you are not there physically. You are there virtually. There are a number of technologies which make you feel that you are there. Those technologies are AR, VR, 3D, so many technologies. So you can customize your visit. You can ask the travel company to make your trip customized. That will give you exactly the flavor You can do shopping there, and once you do the shopping, your stuff can be sent back to you. You can have your photograph there. You can customize your visit, and you can say, okay, I'll visit this place, this place, this place, this place. It's like the same thing when you go to, like, say, in Rome, if you go to Colosseum, they offer you two things. They can give you a physical guide, they can give you a virtual guide. In case of virtual guide, you have a tablet in your hand. So if you are standing before artifacts, so the moment you reach there, some sensors sense you that you are there. So they start playing the history of the artifacts and everything you want to know about that. So these things were there. And now we will try to make it more formal in Pakistan. And Sadaf Khalid can tell you a lot about these things. There are Mr. Aftab Rana is there. So you know what happened today? The panel we have today comprises of the people who have the core understanding of tourism, like Aftab Rana Sahib is the member of the Prime Minister Task Force on Tourism. Sadaf Khalid is leading the initiatives in tourism, number of initiatives, she'll tell you about that. And then we have panelists who are in the technologies of tourism. We have panelists who are in the tourism industry, like if I can introduce Mr. Prezada, he is CEO of the Hotel Association. He can talk a lot about that. Then Mr. Imtiaz is with us. He has a good experience of Travelers International, so can he talk about these things. Sadia is with us, I believe. So all these people will definitely talk about tourism generally, and then they can talk about virtual tourism. Again, I'd like to inform the listeners that virtual tourism is not a new term. It was there, and it will again be there when physical tourism be there. So I'd like to start from our most senior panelist, Mr. Aftab Rana. Aftab Sahib, you are a seasoned person, and you know everything inside, outside tourism. You know its strength, your weaknesses, and you are the frontline soldier of tourism in Pakistan. So firstly, I would like to listen from you that how government of Pakistan is adjusting within this situation. What are your strategies, and how do you feel that this virtual tourism concept can fit into your immediate future strategy in Pakistan? Over to Aftab.
Thank you, Jafri Saab, and Assalamu alaikum to all the panelists and people online at the moment. Jafri Saab has asked a very important question, that the tourism industry right now is passing through a very critical phase, not in Pakistan only, but all around the globe. This is the sector which is mostly affected because of the COVID-19 situation. If you look at the global scenario, all the international traffic has stopped. People are confined to their houses. The businesses, mostly in the tourism and hospitality sectors, are closed or running at a very, very low level of operation. So at the moment, I think this is the worst condition that this tourism and hospitality sector facing around the globe and in Pakistan as well. The UNWTO, the global organization which is critically looking at the situation, has forecasted that if situation will not improve soon, we are going to face very heavy losses in terms of the revenues which tourism generate for the global economy. As you know, at the moment, its share in global GDP is 10%, but if situation remain as it is, this year it may go down to maybe 3 to 4% share. And again, there's a losses of jobs. More than 100 to 150 million people will be suffering because of their jobs are at risk. So it's just a big challenge. I mean, this kind of challenge tourism has never faced in the past history after the World War II. Although it's a very difficult time, but it's also an opportunity for us to think very, innovatively how we can pass through this kind of critical phase effectively without creating much damage to the businesses and people involved with the trade. So in Pakistan, there's a National Tourism Coordination Board, which has already established a national level high committee, which is called the Tourism Action Recovery Committee. That committee has representation of all the provincial tourism secretaries and private sector association, and they have already formed a strategy for the recovery of tourism, which has three important phases. First one is survival, and the second is the revival, and third one is the repositioning of tourism sector as soon as the COVID is coming under control. So side by side, we have also worked on developing the SOPs for hospitality and tourism sector. Although presently the conditions are very critical, but we see that as soon as we'll improve, there'll be need to have SOPs on ground available and readily implementable so that we could immediately start the tourism back to its momentum. So that's the effort which is going on. Government is keen to revive tourism as soon as possible, trying to do all that what is possible in the limited resources which government has. We have a good networking and coordination with all the stakeholders and regularly discussing through online meetings and workshops and seminars with each other. And we all are concerned about the situation which is happening right now. And coming back to the second part of your question, the virtual tourism, I think this is the right time to seriously look at this segment. Although we know virtual tourism was there, but it was more or less more used in the past for the publicity and promotion, or trying to make a potential tourist mindset to be motivated to visit a destination. So we have been seeing different sort of uses of virtual tourism in the past. Right, starting from I remember my childhood days when CNN started in Pakistan. The sights and sounds was a very popular, which I used to look very closely. So sights and sounds created an impact of destination on your mind. So many countries are now using virtual tourism to promote their destinations and also to attract tourists, because although virtual tourism, as you mentioned, is there, where people without moving from their place can visit that place. But tourism cannot happen unless you go and experience that place. So it's experience activity. But to enhance that experience and to motivate people to come to that destination, I think the role of virtual tourism is very important. And by the use of different available technologies these days, we can very effectively motivate people to be coming to have that experience at your destination. Like right now, although people are not able to travel to your place, but at least it's a good time when they're free, they're sitting at their home, they have nothing to do, but we can motivate them through effective virtual tourism programs, packages, and activities to motivate them to come to your Pakistan when it's safe later after the crisis is over. So it can play a very, very important role in the promotion of tourism, the physical tourism in which people come. But as you said, there are many people who are disabled, who may not have the resources to travel. They may not have the financial resources with them to come to your place, but they still want to have the flavor of your destination, the flavor of your landscape, the culture and everything. So virtual tourism can become a very cost-effective manner to fulfill the desire of those people who are not able to physically travel due to various reasons. It could be a physical disability. It may be sometimes the non-availability of time. You may have a lot of money with you, but you're so busy in your life, your business, you can't travel so much. So that's a very effective way. So we need to look into this, that how we can incorporate virtual tourism tools and means on both sides in attracting right kind of tourists to your destination, and also providing the people who are not able to travel to various reasons. It could be one of the reasons, could be visa even. People can't get visa to your place, come to your place. So virtual tourism can play a very, very important role to promote your destination both ways. We can further discuss on it. And I think to start with, this is what I want to say right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, fine. So, taking lead from Rana, your talk, last part of it, that how we can put in place the infrastructure. So, to my understanding, then I like to ask from technologists also. To my understanding, there are three parties now: the person who is coming, the person who is facilitating, and the person who is physically there, the infrastructure. So the person who is facilitating is very important because we are thinking about it, a big picture, that to put in place virtual tourism in Pakistan, which is a portal where everybody can come and register and show the desire to go to a place. Then the place he or she wants to visit, we should have a virtual tourist guide there who should be equipped with all infrastructure like some device to establish communication, the proper internet bandwidth, which is already there, and plus some devices which could enable to have some sort of animations. So for that, we are establishing rural incubation centers because you know very well, better than me, that all these tourist resorts, tourist places, are available in the area where we do not have the traditional technologies. So if we rely on the people who are there, so they can't make it happen. So we'll have to establish the last digital mile, which we call it a rural incubation center. So that rural incubation center will have the staff, the people who will communicate with the world outside, and definitely there will be some intermediaries in Islamabad, Karachi, and Lahore who will establish the linkages. But the last digital hub will be the rural incubation center. So, Sadaf Khalid, I would like to ask you that you are in the tourism industry for the last so many years and you have a passion for that. So, when you have clubbed your initiative of SDGs and now you're talking about global SDGs, so linking all these together, taking lead from what Anna said, we need to put in place a complete ecosystem in which we engage the foreigners from abroad coming to Pakistan. You can do it through your SDGs initiative. Then setting up the rural incubation center in different parts of the north, especially from where you have also your setup there. So, what is your take on it? That how this complete ecosystem, the framework, because right now we are at the starting point of the season now, where it's already started. So we are already very late. So if we talk about next 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, what's your plan to put all these things together in a framework?
Thank you, Amar Jafri. I have a few points to share today. Firstly, I would like to share my views about the current hospitality industry of Pakistan. I think with the COVID situation, it's high time and all the hospitality industry stakeholders should take this opportunity to improve the present hospitality industry. If we talk about the hoteliers, if we talk about the guide associations, if we talk about the rent-a-car facilities, if we talk about all the touristic sites, especially in summers, our focus is the northern parts of Pakistan. How can they improve the current facilities which we have to offer? Because after COVID, when the tourism industry opens, these stakeholders have to seriously work on the trust that for the domestic tourism to start with, they have to focus on the SOPs implementation. That would be the first step. Whether we talk about their health and safety, the hygiene sector, because those we don't have any standardization of the standards currently in Pakistan. There's no checks and balance of these standards that we talk about. So that should be the first step. The private sector with the provincial tourism ministries, they have to work closely in coordination and encourage the domestic tourism to start with to come and visit those places. Secondly, we're talking about virtual tourism. I think it's a very new concept, and it's rightly said that if people who can't afford, I think our youth, they're very talented in Pakistan. They know how to use the technology. They can open YouTube channels, Facebook pages for the virtual tours of the northern areas or different parts of Pakistan for the domestic tourism and the foreign tourism who cannot come and visit right now. So that would be a way forward. And secondly, linking sustainability of those businesses is very important because right now all the private businesses are, they're, if we talk about the northern tourism industry, all their revenues generated just through tourism. So what about if they have a lot of job losses presently, and what would be the strategy for them to revive their business plan? So I think we all need to really focus on these issues and come up with tangible solutions because everybody has to sustain their businesses as well. So that is also lacking. And global, as Rana Sab said, UNWTO is globally sharing the global guidelines as well. And those strong economies of those countries, foreign countries, they're also giving relief packages for the tourism stakeholders. So we have to think for Pakistan how we can cope up with all this. So that is the views that I want to share for now, and I'll be happy to take the discussion further on.
Thank you so very much. Zia Sahab, now I come to you because you are from the technology side of the story. How would you tell our listeners that what are the latest technology available which can be clubbed? Again, as Rana Sahab said, we'll have to put in. We can't just put anything new because then the people in the tourism industry will be disturbed, and we should not like to disturb them. I think we will have to embed our all technologies, like in hotels, like in travel industry. So we'll have to take all. So what do you suggest? What are the available technologies, and what technologies can be improved upon to take us a guide in this virtual tourism technologies?
Thank you, Amar Saab. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be part of this panel. Let me talk about first the technology. What is VR and V360? It's basically the I just pointed out by you that feeling of being there. VR 360 is always there. It's basically a concept in which you take over or you give a different view of things to the user. Like you take over the hearing or you take over the sight and of the user. Like first of all, it was just the sight. Like there was just a tablet or system in which you just browse your finger and you can see the whole 360 area or place. Then it was coupled with hearing as well, and 3D technologies came into in it, and I have seen people going to the arenas and using 3D glasses and hearing them and taking the coaster ride and screaming out like crazy. So that's the effect it has, and because that's a huge advantage, because the technology has so much potential, not only in tourism, but giving the user the experience of that tourism. Aftasa pointed out that you have to be there to feel it, but in future, virtually, we can give you that feeling that you are there, and even you can the user can feel air on his face, and like if it's raining, you can feel the droplets on your face as well. And it is still here. It's still here, and right now it's going on in the other world. I am into virtual reality and 360 for past 2 years, and we have made Pakistan360.net. It's a free virtual site, 360 site of the historical places of Pakistan. It's a virtual tours, and after COVID, this idea of taking people to historical site or the site of their destination they want to see is having a different view. It's totally now a big thing. It's a buzzword now, virtual tourism. And I think that our government institutions and other people should really focus on this, because post-COVID situation, if it's everything is fine as well, but still you need to build on the infrastructure and stuff. But virtual tourism can bypass all that infrastructure development part and make a person just go there. And there are arenas, there are complete machines in which a person can come inside and exactly feel the place or the historical buildings, whatever he wants to see. Application of tourism and virtual reality, I have divided it in few parts. One is simple one is hotel tours, which are there for long last 3-4 years now, in which hotels give the virtual tour to their client, basically for their publicity. Then there is, I can say, historical or architectural tours. These are the buildings which are visited by the architects, or which is visited by the school children even for academia purposes. Looking at the historical places, wonder of the worlds. And then there is a religious tourism. Now, religious tourism, the most lucrative tourism in VR as well. Mind that this whole content that we have built and we have done and we have made available to the public, our research shows that people don't tend to pay for that services. They just want to see it if it's free. If they have to pay for it, they will not going to see it, they will avoid it. So the governments are involved in this system, that they, for the publicity, they make the content and then they show it free outside. But religious tourism is really a tourism in which you ask people to pay and they will pay. And that's the most lucrative part of virtual reality tourism. And then after COVID, our museums are closed. We don't have any museum virtual reality and museum tour anymore. We don't have zoo. Zoos are closed. People don't go to zoos anymore. We can have virtual tour for the zoos as well. You can have a shopping center virtual and historical handicraft in it, with different handicraft placed in virtual tour, and once he's selected it, you can be shipped to the. So there are a lot of different things that you can do with the virtual tourism. The technology part, we have augmented reality inbuilt into the system, and it is very now in the very advanced state. You cannot say that it's the system is not working. The virtual reality 360, augmented reality, and 3D is now on the whole new level. You should understand that the old ideas behind that these technology doesn't work. No, it does work. We have seen it in gaming industry. The gaming industry is multi-billion-dollar industry, and you have virtual reality in all the games. I can name PUBG even. You have three-dimensional things in it. So technology point of view in tourism, it is here for last 5 years, and now has matured to a level that you can create a virtual trip to the client. But having said that, the point is, for the government, Rana Saab is so, I'm grabbing the opportunity that Rana Saab is here. Government has to support the content development. Content development costs money. When we go to a place, we take specialized equipment. We have to stay there for 2-3 days. Have to work, fly drones, take photographs, go to their office, studio, make a linkages, make rendering and doing stitching and stuff, and then put it on the web. That whole thing costs money, and without the financial support of or any sponsor, that can't be done. Period. That's it. If you have a sponsor, of course, good. If you don't have a sponsor, it can't be done. So if virtual technology or virtual tours we have 470 historical sites in Pakistan. Can you imagine that? Like 470 historical sites, and of all religion, Buddhism, even Christianity, even British have so much things here, heritage here. These are, I can't even express how many things are there to be, to have a content development on that. And let alone that historical site is one thing, and or northern areas or mountains or K2 track or skiing tracks or Malam Japa is another story. So until unless a complete geared up government for tourism, virtual tourism with technology comes into play, this content development will going to take minimum 5 to 10 years, and that will be no good because technology changes every 2 to 3 years. So you have to develop these technologies. You have to put in money into these technologies to get that virtual tour to the people.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Reza. Thank you for your kind input. Let me share something with you. I think, Rana, in the end, I'd like to ask this question to you. I think in its hybrid form, this was already there. I had 2 or 3 personal experiences. Once in Cairo, actually they had the night show, and in that night show, they actually showed us the civilization there 3,000 years before. And once in Rome, they showed us the actual fight of the that was the night time. Actually, that was so nicely animated that I personally felt me to be there. Once in USA, they asked me twice, do you want to go to the sea? Do you want to go to the mountain? I said, I want to go to the sea. So whatever they had, the 3D glasses. So what I'm trying to say is, Jasa, that technology is already there. We don't need to reinvent technology. I think what we need is to put in place all the stakeholders, especially from the private sector, and definitely I'll come to Hadith that to how these existing infrastructure, hotel industry, and all these people can help us to put all these things together. Because if we are thinking about 5 years ahead, I think we are not serious into it. Let me be very frank with you. We have to think something like in next 6 months' time, so that when the next winter season comes, then we have something in place. I don't expect to be done in next 2-3 months. We have to gear up. And I think you can help us a lot. And you know that we are from the technology side, we can definitely would like to contribute. It's national cause. Because with tourism industry, the millions of people are connected together. So we'll have 2 challenges. One is to link the existing hotel industry, existing tourist guides, existing transport industry. I don't see any place for transport industry, but for tourist guides, for the hotels, I see a lot of opportunities for them. We can have studios there. We can do a lot of things. So coming to you, Hadith, you are from a sector which can help us a lot, because we'll be requiring if we go for this virtual tourism, we'll be requiring the local stakeholders, the people who are there. They are the foot soldiers there. So what do you think that in all the discussion you have up till now, we are talking about the government policies, we are talking about the infrastructure, the ecosystem, how hotel industry can help us right now? Well, it is there also. It's their bread and butter also. They can't afford to have 400 rooms, and they are not. There's no person there. So everybody at stake. So what's your take on it? That how they can help us in virtual tourism environment? Over to you, Arisa.
Thank you very much, Marsap. I think everybody said pretty valid points about virtual tourism. Definitely, it is the future. It has been there for some time in many global markets, and now, of course, these phenomena are coming to Pakistan as well. Like as we hear, ecotourism in the last 12 to 15 months in Pakistan rising up. People are getting aware. Similarly, virtual tourism is a new phenomena, new reality. There's no escape and no disagreement on that. What we do from the hotel perspective, I give you hotel industry perspective, because hotels are real estate developments or real estate investments. Yes, we need to fill our rooms. We need to fill our meeting rooms. We need to have arrivals and departures in our hotels so that our real estate development has an equity increase in our investments and run a profitable business. So for hotel industry and for many other stakeholders in this hospitality industry overall is basically the virtual reality or virtual tourism or virtual VR is being used to as a marketing and promotional tool. Now that we have seen that these big chains of hotels and big event management companies have taken the VR to a next level. When we talk about tourism, I want to say when we talk about tourism, tourism is not only leisure tourism, like sightseeing, and not only religious tourism. Yes, in Pakistan we talk about these 2 or 3 domains a lot, but there is a very, very important component is the business tourism, which is event management, which is big conferences such as we're doing it right now. So if we would have done this conference in Jinnah Convention Center, the transportation companies would have benefited, created revenue. The convention centers would have made money, the airlines would have made money. So it's all complementary stakeholders involved in this kind of a cycle of tourism. So that is affected for sure. So and that will not be eliminated down the road. I must say that certain elements will still be there, as Amar Saab you mentioned in the beginning. So I think what we're doing it, when we see from the hotels perspective, from the airline perspective, from the tour operator perspective globally, that they have actually went very viral and more aggressive and assertive on the VR tools to promote them, because they know the market will rebound in the next 12 months with full recovery. So that's one aspect of your question, that yes, they're using as a promotional tool. The second question that I think I want to raise to the panel, and especially to Zia Saab, since it's an investment platform, said what we need to do in Pakistan now to create awareness. Yes, government can do, we can go to government, Rana Saab can present in the working committee, but what actually in form of the private sector and the public sector partnership needs to be done, because our viewers who are listening to us would like to know, say in terms of how we encourage the youth. Is it going to incubation centers, private, going to incubation centers and encouraging young entrepreneurs to doing it? Secondly, can you guide us on how much money and revenue is need to do a startup to create a virtual tour, a virtual app or virtual VR reality site? Because I tell you, in Pakistan as well, when we talk about the business, which is primarily, we talk about North, that season is finished, which I disagree, because we have lots of city tourism in Lahore and Karachi and Sindh and Punjab that can be triggered year-round basis. So question, how much it is need, and what should be 1, 2, or 3 steps for young entrepreneurs to get into this, and for tour operators who are listening, how they can, yes, they need it because they want to sell virtual tour packages, right? So what could be a guideline in terms of revenue startup?
Well, Gigi, well, thank you. There are 2-3 basic business model for virtual tourism. One is startup. You need to have a camera, basically, to take panorama photographs. That's one part. Getting them stitched together and putting them on the web, that's another part. We have specialized cameras for 360 tours. They are Insta360, they are Xiaomi 360, they are multiple camera streams which we use, or rigs. Like we have a Canon rig for 4 or 5 cameras all together, clipping on, triggering once at a time. So your point of business development is that yes, corporate culture like telcos, like other companies can be called in. Sponsorship could be there. Their logo can be placed anywhere they want on that site, because it's basically the most good thing about 360 or virtual tours are that you can incorporate anything in it. You can incorporate a foreign element like a tour guide into it, a complete tour guide, or a button which you can press and the screen pops up. So if the corporate sector wants their logo to be there, they can be incorporated into that screen. So it's a very good tool for these corporate giants to come and finance it one site, like there are 470 sites, and they just say, okay, we were going to finance 10 sites. And then 10 sites, they have a small logo on the screen depicting that they have been financing. And all the traffic which is going to be generated, going to see that logo.
In response to your question, I would like to add that we'll have to take on board the universities, the entrepreneurs, the recent graduates, link them with startups. Definitely, you're right. We have to, actually, this is what we are thinking very closely these days, that how to put all these things together. Technology is already there. We do not need to reinvent technology. It's just on a click of a button, you can buy it. The important fact is, as Yasab is telling, we can allocate sites to people. Okay, you manage it. So I think in the end, I'll request also to comment on it, that how we can engage the private sector people living abroad, and they can come to Pakistan, invest into virtual tourism, where local companies can help and assist them in bridging this gap. There was a question on the panel that what is the future of event management companies? I think they have got good future. They're good future now. Why? You rightly said that IRA have gone where we had to in the convention center and spending so many things and all that. So every change comes with a advantage also. Now advantage is now we all are sitting in our homes and now we are listening to each other. So the new era of event management company is coming with a lot of new opportunities. Now everybody understands that if he or she wants a message to be delivered to 2,000 people, it's a very low cost. So we actually right now in the process of training the digital event skill people. We are trying to engage 10,000 volunteers in Pakistan in this project, in which we'll be training the people with a very low investment of 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees, in which they will have smartphone, they will have a internet connection, and they will have these Bluetooth devices which can link the loudspeakers to the camera. So we can deliver the masjid khutbah, we can deliver the all functions, we can deliver the marriages and all these things, because to my understanding, nobody knows when this problem is going to end. So we can't wait indefinitely, and we'll have to plan something for that. So in response to your question, the future of event management company is very bright. But if they re-innovate, if they won't think today, if they'll be thinking of the same mindset, I think it will be very late. So now coming to...
may I say a few? Yeah.
Please.
Listening all of you, I think there are different levels of use and level of adoption of virtual tourism, which I've seen around the globe. But in any case, virtual tourism is not the alternate of real tourism. And for a country like Pakistan, which is already in its infancy of tourism development, we're at the beginning, hum abhi bache hain isme tourism mein. So we need to learn quite a lot about it, because the real thing is we should focus to start with, if we are going to adopt virtual tourism, how virtual tourism can complement the real tourism in Pakistan. You see, our already the foreign tourist flow is very, very low, and we are not getting the required number of tourist flow from other countries. The domestic tourism is there, but very much disorganized, and need to be more organized and more, developed on the right lines of the sustainable principles and eco-friendly manners and all that. So I think for Pakistan, we should more think on how we can use virtual tourism to complement to the real tourism. You see, we can enhance the experience. As you said, that you had an experience in Cairo, you had an experience in Rome. Actually, you went there and had that experience there. And the similar things we can do in Pakistan. For example, we have a great legacy of historical civilizations in this country. For example, a tourist coming from abroad, visiting Mohenjo-daro, visiting a site of Gandhara, visiting Mehergarh, we can create a kind of a time machine kind of a mode in which he's also taken back to that 9,000 years back history. But it's complementing actually with the site visit also. You see, there's no alternate what you see, what you listen, what you smell, what you feel, it's all there. You see? So in Pakistan, I think to start with, our focus, if we are going to promote virtual tourism, we cannot go too high-fi. We should start from the basic levels and gradually move on. And to start with, we should see how we can better complement the real tourism through virtual tourism, and side by side also create an opportunity for those who are, due to any reason, are not able to travel to Pakistan, as I mentioned earlier, due to disability, due to lack of resources, finances, problem of visa, and many other things. So they could also have the feeling of the destination. So इसके ऊपर हमें काम करने की जरूरत है. And I think अगर हम अपने youth को, अपने जो startups हैं, उसको इसके लिए तैयार करें, because private sector will be there to only help them if it will complement in their businesses. Tour operator, hoteliers, transporters, they want to sell their services, their products. जब अगर वो ये देखेंगे कि उनके प्रोडक्ट्स लेने के लिए तो ये नहीं है, ये तो बल्कि उनका बिजनेस छीन के वो कमरे में बैठा के आप सारा एक्सपीरियंस देना चाह रहे हैं, तो nobody will be going to support that. Even government will not be interested in that, because government is more interested in the development of the economic side in remote areas, providing jobs to the larger number of young people and all that. So government का focus tourism को develop करने पे दो वजूहात से है. It should bring economic prosperity. It should create jobs to the larger number of young people, जो कि पाकिस्तान में बहुत बड़ी एक force में है. So we should think on it, किस तरह से हमारा virtual tourism complement कर सकता है, ना कि हम ये सोचना शुरू कर दें कि हम real tourism को छोड़ के virtual की तरफ चले जाएं और वो जो actual tourism है वो खत्म हो जाए. I think ये model to start with पाकिस्तान में कामयाब नहीं होएगा, और उसके लिए जो required ability आपको चाहिए content development के लिए, जैसे ज़िया ने भी कहा, वो available होते होते बहुत time लगेगा, because content development में आपको support इन्हीं लोगों से मिलेगी जो physically tourist को वहाँ ले जाते हैं. You want to show K2 base camp track and its climb virtually, you have to have someone who is expert in tracking, in tour guiding, in managing expedition. वो जब तक वो data content वहाँ से उस तरह से जैसे आप चाहते हैं लेके नहीं आएगा, you cannot create a good virtual tour for that. जितनी अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी आपके पास क्यों ना हो, तो उस गाइड को इस काबिल बनाना पड़ेगा कि वो उस टेक्नोलॉजी को उस तरह से इस कैमरा को यूज कर सके और क्वालिटी कंटेंट लेके आ सके. तो we need to move on hand in hand with each other, and we should see कि किस तरह से virtual tourism to start with real tourism को support करे, और gradually फिर आप इसके different model introduce करवा सकते हैं. अल्लाह करे कल को इतना पाकिस्तान में tourism हो जाए कि हम over tourism में चले जाएं, तो फिर तो हमें खामखा वर्चुअल टूरिज्म के ऊपर काम करना पड़ेगा कि जी आप पाकिस्तान मत है, वहां बैठे कुछ डॉलर स्पेंड करें, हम आपको वहीं पे ये दिखा देते हैं. अभी तो हमें जरूरत है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा फॉरेन टूरिस्ट पाकिस्तान में आए, तो उसके लिए हमें देखना होगा कि हाउ वी कैन यूज इफेक्टिवली दिस वर्चुअल टूरिज्म टू अट्रैक्ट मोर रियल टूरिस्ट. थैंक यू.
इम्तियाज साहब, हम आपसे बात करना चाहेंगे. आप देखें ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है ये इन्वेस्ट इन पाकिस्तान. And if somebody is thinking to invest in Pakistan tourism, especially virtual tourism we are talking about, they'll be thinking about the numbers. So what expectation do you have that we take the both scenarios? Situation improve, situation doesn't improve. If situation improve, I'll definitely support what Aftab Sahab has said. We'll have to invest in virtual tourism, complementing the physical tourism. That is the point. That is very important point Aftab Sahab you have said. But in case we have a Allah na kare, serious problem that continues, and for 2-3 years we have the same situation. So in that situation, do you think that the foreign travelers intending to come to Pakistan for religious tourism, for culture tourism, for different forms of tourism, they'll be interested to join the initiative of virtual tourism? Yes, sir.
जी सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम. मैं इसमें कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो मैंने नोट भी की हैं इन सारी डिस्कशन में, और उसमें जो आफ्ताब साहब ने बात करी है, सबसे पहले तो ये है कि जो भी मुल्क एक अपनी टूरिज़म इंडस्ट्री, एनी कंट्री वांट्स टू डेवलप द टूरिज़म इंडस्ट्री, द बेसिक पॉइंट इज़ टू अर्न द वैल्यूएबल फॉरेन एक्सचेंज, एंड दैट कैन बी अर्न बाय वीज़ा इशुएंस, बाय टिकट्स, एयरलाइन टिकट्स, होटल स्टे, टैक्सी ड्राइवर्स, दुकानदार, व्हाटएवर. सो जब तक फिजिकल टूरिज्म اس طرح نہیں ہو ہم ڈیولپ کر سکیں. اچھا اب آیا کووڈ-19 کے بعد ٹورزم انڈسٹری یا ایویشن انڈسٹری کا کیا رول ہے. ایویشن انڈسٹری جیسا ہم دیکھ رہے ہیں کہ وہ آہستہ آہستہ کھل رہی ہے اور انہوں نے ایس او پیز کے ساتھ کام کرنا شروع کر دیا ہے. ایئر لائنز اپنے آپ کو ٹرین کر رہی ہیں, اپنے اسٹاف کو ٹرین. سملرلی ٹورزم انڈسٹری بھی کو بھی اپنے آپ کو اسی طرح ٹرین کرنا پڑے گا اگر ہم فزیکل ٹورسٹ کو یہاں بلانا چاہتے ہیں. ورچوئل ٹورزم کا جہاں تک تعلق ہے, وی کین ٹیک اٹ ایز another form of ٹور, جیسے کہ ایڈونچر ٹورزم ہے, میڈیکل ٹورزم ہے, ریلیجس ٹورزم, تو ایک ورچوئل ٹورزم بھی اپنی جگہ ہے اور اٹس اے مارکیٹنگ ٹول ایز ویل, جیسے سب نے کہا. جہاں تک ہوٹل اس کو یوز کرنے کی بات آتی ہے, وہاں پر ایک ہوٹل جو دکھانا چاہتا ہے وہ اس ورچوئل ٹور میں دکھا سکتا ہے. میرا کنسرن صرف یہ ہے کہ جب کنٹینٹ ڈیولپمنٹ کیا جائے گا تو اس کو کون کنٹرول کرے گا کہ سوات میں کیا دکھانا ہے کیا نہیں دکھانا ہے. جب کراچی میں آپ مسولیم قائد اعظم کے اوپر جا رہے ہیں تو وہاں لائن سے جو بیگرز بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں, کیا ان کو دکھانا ہے نہیں دکھانا ہے. آج ایک کمپنی کام کر رہی ہے, 10 اس کے بعد 10 کمپنیاں کام کریں گی. کوئی گورنمنٹ کی گائیڈ لائنز نہیں ہے, کوئی ایسی چیز نہیں ہے کہ اس کو کنٹرول کیا جا سکے. ایک بلاگر آتا ہے, وہ اس کو جو نظر آتا ہے, اس کو جو اچھا لگتا ہے, جو برا لگتا ہے, وہ دکھا کے اس کو چلا جاتا ہے. کون اس کو کنٹرول کرے گا کہ ورچوئل جو ٹور ہے اس کا کنٹینٹ کون دکھائے گا. ٹیکنالوجی بھی آ گئی, سب کچھ آ گیا, ایسی چیزیں باہر پروموٹ ہو گئی کہ جو ہم نہیں پروموٹ کرنا چاہتے. تو ہوٹل تو ٹھیک ہے اپنی ایک چیز دکھا رہا ہے, اس کو جو کمرہ دکھانا ہے, جو اس کو اپنا بیسٹ کمرہ دکھائے گا, بیسٹ اپنے ریسٹورینٹ دکھائے گا, لیکن کیا وہ ورچوئل ٹور سوات کا بیسٹ دکھا رہا ہے؟ کیا وہ پولیٹیکلی موٹیویٹڈ تو نہیں ہے؟ کیا اس میں کوئی اور پرابلم؟ تو اس کو کون کنٹرول کرے گا؟ یہ بہت امپورٹنٹ پوائنٹ ہے کہ کنٹینٹ کو کنٹرول کون کرے گا کہ کیا چیز دکھانی ہے کیا چیز نہیں دکھانی ہے. یہ ایک میرا پوائنٹ تھا. دوسری بات جو یہ ہے کہ ابھی ہم نے بجٹ دیکھا, جو بجٹ آیا گورنمنٹ نے دیا, اس میں ٹورزم کا کہیں کوئی ذکر نہیں, ایک بات ٹورزم کے اوپر نہیں کی گئی. اب اگر ہم گورنمنٹ چاہتی ہے کہ ٹورزم کو ڈیولپ کیا ہے تو اس کو بہت سے ریلیف دینے چاہیے تھے ویزاز کے اندر اور دوسری چیزوں کے اندر, لیکن کوئی ایسی بات نہیں. اب ایئر لائن انڈسٹری کو شروع کر دیا گیا ہے, ایئرپورٹس کھول دیے گئے ہیں, لیکن ان کے لیے بھی کوئی انسینٹیو نہیں ہے کہ لینڈنگ چارجز میں کوئی کمی ہو یا کوئی اور ایسی چیز میں کمی ہو تاکہ انکریج کیا جائے ایئر لائنس کو یہاں آنے کے لیے. اسی طرح ٹورسٹ کو یہاں لانے کے لیے ان کو ہم ورچوئل ٹورزم کا سہارا لے کر یہ بتا سکتے ہیں کہ پاکستان میں ایس او پیز کا خیال رکھا جا رہا ہے, یہاں ویزا آنا لینا بہت آسان ہو گیا ہے, فری کر دیا ہے گورنمنٹ نے, یا اس طرح کی جو بھی سہولیات موجود ہیں. ہم ورچوئل ٹورزم کا اس وقت بہت ضروری ہے, ورچوئل ٹورزم کا سہارا لے کر ہم دنیا کو بتا سکتے ہیں کہ پاکستان میں اگر آپ آتے ہیں تو آپ سیف ہیں. یہاں پہ کووڈ کے حساب سے ہم نے ایس او پیز بھی بنائے ہیں, ہمارے ہوٹلز اس کو فالو کر رہے ہیں, ہماری جو سائٹس ہیں وہاں فالو کیا جا رہا ہے. اسی طرح یہ بہت امپورٹنٹ ہے اور اس وقت بہت ضروری ہے. ورچوئل ٹورزم کو ہم یوز کر کے اپنی ایکچوئل ٹورزم کو پروموٹ کر سکتے ہیں فار فیوچر. اگلے 6 مہینہ بعد یا سال بعد اگر ٹورسٹ یہاں آتا ہے تو ہی شوڈ نو کہ پاکستان از اے سیف ڈیسٹینیشن ٹو ٹریول ایز فار ایز کووڈ از کنسرن. تھینک یو سر.
تھینک یو مچ. اچھا, چونکہ مجھے ذمہ داری دی گئی ہے ماڈریٹ کرنے کی اور یہ میں بڑی کم ادا کرتا ہوں, پہلی دفعہ کر رہا ہوں آج, تو مجھے ٹائم کا بھی خیال رکھنا ہے. تو صدف آپ سے اور آفتاب صاحب آپ سے دونوں سے ایک سوال کر کے پھر میں یہ تینوں سے آخری دو ایک سوال کرنا چاہوں گا. Is there any possibility that we should implement the standards of tourism? Because for preparing for this talk, I was just looking at the internet, and there are defined standards that these are do and these are do nots. So the problem is that if these are there, I would like to listen from both of you. Please tell the participants. And if they are not there, I'm talking about the standards of tourism, especially now after COVID-19. What are the SOPs and what need to? Over to you, sir.
Yes, can you hear me?
Very clear.
Okay. So yes, before the COVID situation started, Rana Saab would also like to highlight NTCB was about to start the project of standardization for specifically for the hotel industry, and the Guide Association and the touristic sites said there are specific standards. Like we see in other countries that there's a rating of hotels. Pakistan mein wo rating of hotels, it doesn't exist. Whether that hotel is 3-star, 4-star or 5-star, and there's specific standards for each department. for the rooms, for the laundry services, for the restaurants, their standards, for the kitchen hygienes. So I think it's high time that all these have to be taken in notice and they should be implemented, and the private sector should start investing in adopting these standards when the tourism industry open. It will help to attract the domestic tourism. So the standards do exist, but they need to be implemented. And again, the role of provincial tourism, because after the 18th Amendment, it has been dissolved. So I think their role will be very important of implementing of these standards. And I think then training and awareness campaigns should be there. We are talking about virtual tourism, but I think side by side, if through the digital world we are connected, massive campaigns through webinars and seminars for awareness of those people we can give them, because those private associations, they don't have the training for the standardization of hotel industry.
Rana Saab.
Yeah, Amasa, you have asked a very important question at the end of this session. Basically, tourism is a service industry. So it's a combination of various services provided by different stakeholders. And all over the round, there's a very strong mechanism to have a good regulatory mechanism to ensure that the clients get the right kind of services and the value of the money they spend on these services. But unluckily in Pakistan, although we had in the beginning developed 3 laws to have some standards on ground available for tourism and hospitality sector in 1976, and government established a Department of Tourism Services. But somehow we have not been able to really establish the good standards in tourism and hospitality sector due to various reasons and the lack of capacities and other resources and other problems. So right now is a very appropriate time, I think, because now after the COVID, people have become more conscious about the quality of cleanliness and hygiene and standards and all that. And as Sadaf mentioned, we have already been working on this even before the COVID. And we developed a document for the National Tourism Coordination Board, which has a guideline for the minimum national standards for tourism and hospitality industry. So that has already been shared with all the tourism provincial departments to get their input also, and the private sector stakeholders as well. Because at the moment in Pakistan, the industry is running without any kind of standards in place in tourism and hospitality. So we need to do quite a lot of work on first to have, established proper standards which are implementable, which are acceptable by these service providers, and which are as per the international requirements as well, so that the tourists feel comfortable that where they're going, will get the quality of services. So working on that now, the more crucial element is to bring in some legal changes in Pakistan's legal framework for tourism and hospitality, which governs tourism sector. And side by side, we need to establish a kind of a mechanism in which we ensure that there's a good certification mechanism there. From that filter, if people are cleared, then they get the license to operate a tourism business or a hotel or a restaurant. And then there's a mechanism at local level which is continuously checked. Hadi can, I think, say more on it because he's working in Dubai right now. There's a very strong role of local administrations in the implementation of standards. The municipal governments, the district level governments, they have their a proper wing which continuously visit all these facilities and check according to a checklist, are they running appropriately or not. So quite a lot of work needs to be done. At the NTCB level, the next, inshallah, we'll be working on this, that standards are approved, and all the provinces are also in line with us to adopt these standards. And then there's a mechanism available to introduce the certifications and then the licensing accordingly that. But I think it's a lot of work required to have these standards implemented on ground. And I think they will, if they are implemented, they will bring quite a positive change in the tourism and hospitality sector of Pakistan, because they will instantly improve the level of the services which we are providing right now. Many international tourists are reluctant to come to Pakistan only because we don't offer our services as per the standard as they receive in their own country. So that's a big problem for Pakistan as well. I think Hadi can further add on this, how he is doing in the for example, in Dubai case.
So since
Yes,
I
so
have to finish the session in next 4 to 5 minutes. So I request my all
I
three
will
panelists.
just take 1 minute. I'll just take quickly 1 minute to comment. Yes, it is very important. It starts from framework and standards in every vertical. As Imtiaz Sahab said, if you do a virtual shows and virtual reality apps and sell it for promotion and videos and site inspections, you have to have somebody to monitor that content. And that comes to the answer and what Rana Saab said. We need to have standards in place in every structured market or emerging market that has actually developed tourism. The first thing starts from framework. So this is where private and public sector partnership comes into play. If you allow me, just because I know we have a time constraint, I see that virtual tourism is one vertical, as Imtiaz Sahab said, as adventure or a business travel or a religious travel. This is exactly the way it is. Right now, we need to use virtual tourism to encourage the selling destination Pakistan and then selling different destinations within the verticals of tourism and hospitality industry for Pakistan. For investment perspective, I've seen a lot of questions coming in that how to invest in Pakistan. I think where this government is working with certain donor agencies and creating awareness campaigns and will encourage bigger companies like Forbes or Condé Nast or National Geographic to come in, and their people will come in and their sponsors will come in to try to invest. But I think the first point is to put standards and promote those standards within domestic tourism to elevate the level and increase the standard of domestic tourism so the international travelers can come looking at those testimonials.
Thank you, Azhar, very much. Ziaza, your last comment.
My comment is that virtual reality and 360 are here. You can use them for the business publicity, or you can use them for your country's publicity. And I think COVID gave us a laid-back approach now, and I think government should really focus on this technology. Imtiaz has pointed rightfully that government need to have these content development monitored. Of course, we are all into it. Basically, government, basically selling a country is not a private initiative. It's a public initiative. Okay. And selling it to client is always, of course, Rana Sahab has pointed out, they want to have foreign investment coming in, they want to have people in infrastructure, they want to have drivers getting money out of the foreigners and everyone. Of course, but you have to show the people that what you have to offer first. You have to publicize yourself. Without, and believe me, these TV ads are no more useful to the user. Okay, 1 minute. The user are now computer savvy and they are into technology. So let's focus on new technology and getting the content right to the user and the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Imtiaz Sahab, your last comment, please.
जी सर, वही बात आ गई सर. Once again we are coming to the standardization. In absence of the Federal Ministry of Tourism और जो PTDC का हाल है हम देखते हैं, who will do that? Who will make the standards? Who will implement it? फिर SOPs, when we are making SOPs, for example for hotels, जो लोग बना रहे हैं, the committee who is making the SOPs, उसमें कोई hotels की representation है कि नहीं है? वो SOPs, are they implementable in hotels or not? For example, airlines, हमने अभी recently we have seen that government has opened the aviation industry. उन्होंने कहा जी कि आप इनबाउंड नहीं ला सकते, आप खाली जहाज लेकर आइए और फिर यहाँ से लोगों को लेकर जाइए, सीट एक छोड़कर बिठाइए. इट्स नॉट फिजिबल. आप खाली जहाज को क्यों कोई एयरलाइन लाएगी? एनी एयरलाइन विल नॉट ब्रिंग इन एम्प्टी एयरक्राफ्ट. उसको कॉस्ट पड़ती है. फिर आप टिकट भी नहीं बढ़ाने दे रहे, फिर आप SOPs के हिसाब से बिठाना भी चाह रहे हैं. तो until unless जो ये SOPs बना रहा है उसमें उस इंडस्ट्री की रिप्रेजेंटेशन कितनी है कि नहीं है, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है। एक ऐसी SOP बना दी जो होटल के लिए मुश्किलें कर ही नहीं सकता होटल, तो वो और स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन के लिए आपके पास कोई इदारा ही नहीं है कि जो उसको कर सके। फेडरल मिनिस्ट्री आपने ख़त्म कर दी, PTDC का हाल सब जानते हैं, अब रह जाता है सिर्फ ये नेशनल टूरिज्म जो कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी है, ये अगर कुछ कर सके तो करें। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Dasa. Ladies and gentlemen, thanking all my panelists and thanking the listeners. I like to end up because I promised with the organizer I'll finish it at 3:10. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't stop time and technology. It has triggered the button. We have to switch to the new technologies. I fully agree with Aftab Saab. They're starting from the blending of physical tourism with virtual tourism should be the starting point. I think it's call for action for all of us. We who claims to be the technology people will have to perform their role into era of artificial intelligence where every traveler is being observed even to the extent of its body language. So there is no point that we cannot identify the satisfaction of the customers coming to the hotels, at the airports, all these things. In the era of IoTs, where the sensors are there, which are monitoring everything, I think it's a high time for all of us to ponder collectively. I think the collective wisdom is never wrong. I will request Aftab Rana Saab to form a committee of virtual tourism, and we are all with you, Rana Saab, and definitely we will, under your guidance, we will try to give you a report. So I will request all the panelists to think about it, and we can have another detailed webinar on this virtual tourism. I thank you all. I thank the Jumpstart. I thank the organizers. I thank the sponsors for giving us the opportunity. And I would like to give it back, as promised with you, give it back to you.